Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam palam sukamugadam ritadivasam mudam bibadavagdam rasamarayam muhura rasikabo vibhavukaha Narayanam namaskritya naram chaivararottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet Nashabaye shabadeshun nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki Ete cham sakala pumsam krishnastu bhagavansayam indriyari vyakulam lokam ridyante yuge yuge. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 14th chapter, text number 6 and 7. So number 6 is written here, so we'll chant together number 6 and then I will read the translation and then I will read the 7th verse with translation and purport. Gyatayam Pitarau Putra Bhratara Surido Apare Yad Vadanti Yad Ichanti Chanumodeta Nirmama Gyataya Pitaro Putra Bhratara Surido Pare Yad Vadanti Yad Ichanti Chanu Modeta Nirmama Gyataya Pitara Putra Bhratara Surido Pare Yad Vadanti Yad Ichanti Chanu Modeta Nirmama Gyataya relatives, family members, Pitarau, the father and mother, Putra, children, Bhratara, brothers, Surida, friends, Apare, and others, Yat, whatever, Vadanti, they suggest in regard to one's means of livelihood. Yat, whatever, Ichanti, they wish, Cha, and Anumodeta, he should agree, Nirmamaha, but without taking them seriously. Translation. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree saying, yes, that is all right. But internally he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. Text number 7. Divyam bhaumam chantariksham vitam achyuta nirmitam tat sarvam upayunja na etat kuryat sato buddha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. The material product created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be utilized to maintain the bodies and souls of all living entities. The necessities of life are of 3 types. Those produced from the sky, from rainfall, from the earth, from the mines, the seas, or the fields, and third, from the atmosphere, that which is obtained suddenly and unexpectedly. Purport. We living entities in different forms are all children of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad-Gita. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha tasam brahma mahadyonir ambija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the father of all living entities in different species and forms. One who is intelligent can see that all living entities in the 8,400,000 bodily forms are part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are His sons. Everything within the material and spiritual world is the property of the Supreme Lord. Ishavasyam idam sarvam, and therefore everything has a relationship with Him. Srila Rupa Goswami says in this regard, prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastuna mumukshubi parityago vairagyam falgu katyate. One who rejects anything without knowledge of its relationship to Krishna is incomplete in his renunciation. Although Mayavadi philosophers say that the material creation is false, actually it is not false. It is factual, but the idea that everything belongs to human society is false. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for everything is created by Him. All living entities, being the Lord's sons, His eternal parts and parcels, have the right to use their Father's property by nature's arrangement. As stated in the Upanishads, Tyena tyaktena bunjita magrida kasya svit dhanam. Everyone should be satisfied with the things allotted him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one should encroach upon another's rights or property. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it is said, Anad bhavanti bhutani pajanyat anasambhavaha yagyar bhavati pajanyo yagya karma samudbhavaha. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagya, sacrifice, and yagya is born of prescribed duties. When food grains are sufficiently produced, both animals and human beings can be nourished without difficulty for their maintenance. This is nature's arrangement. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha Everyone is acting under the influence of material nature, and only fools think they can improve upon what God has created. The householders are specifically responsible for seeing that the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are maintained without fighting between men, communities, societies, or nations. Human society should properly utilize the gifts of God, especially the food grains that grow because of rain falling from the sky. As stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, Yagyar Bhavati Pajanya. So that rainfall will be regulated, humanity should perform yagyas, sacrifices. Yagyas were previously performed with offerings of oblations of ghee and food grains. But in this age, of course, this is no longer possible, for the production of ghee and food grains has diminished because of the sinful life of human society. However, people should take to Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras. Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yajantihi Sumedasaha. If people throughout the world take to the Krishna consciousness movement and chant the easy sound vibration of the transcendental name and fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be no scarcity of rainfall. Consequently, food grains, fruits, and flowers will be properly produced, and all the necessities of life will be easily obtained. Grihastas or householders should take the responsibility for organizing such natural production. It is therefore said, Tasyaiva heto prayateta govida. An intelligent person should try to spread Krishna consciousness through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and all the necessities of life will automatically follow. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshor Unmilitam Yanam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Yota Padakamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Satam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaganvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavane Share Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here Narada Muni is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and this chapter is explaining about the ideal family life. Grihastha ashram. So Grihastha, so that means the person who is staying in the house, Grihastha. But it is an ashram. Ashram means the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is staying. where he is worshipped, where spiritual practices are performed. So first the brahmachari ashram is there. The children are sent by the parents, ideally to the Gurukul, the house of the spiritual master, the ashram of the spiritual master. And they are trained right from the age of 5 till 15 or 20, how to be fully absorbed in spiritual activities and study of the scriptures. So they may be able to understand that they are not this body but spirit soul. So when one obtains a human form of life, one has to endeavor to try to practically realize one's spiritual existence beyond the material body. So for that purpose, the Supreme Lord Himself is coming periodically, or His expansions, or He sends His representatives, the pure devotees. And the scriptures, they are revealed by the Lord or the Lord representatives with the same purpose to educate, to give knowledge to the conditioned souls, so that they can realize that they are not this body, they are spiritual beings, and they have a relationship, an eternal relationship with the Supreme Being, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or His expansions. So for that purpose, especially the children of the higher classes in Varnashram, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, so they were going to Gurukul. But especially the Brahmanas, they had to go to Gurukul, the Brahmana children. And the Kshatriyas, they were also educated. So that is absolutely necessary. So that later on, when one is grown up, one is then able to properly take up responsibilities. Of course, first class is if one is able to remain brahmachari, or even if one is highly qualified, knowledgeable in the scriptures, tattvavid, knowing the absolute truth, siddhantavid, knowing the conclusions of the scriptures. And then we have practical realization, not just theoretical knowledge, but practical realization of their spiritual nature, their sarup, their transcendental form and relationship with Krishna. So those highly qualified personalities, they will enter the sannyas ashram. And they will be traveling all over the world, spreading this transcendental knowledge, especially the process of devotional service. Transcendental knowledge means to give the understanding that we are the eternal sons of Krishna. Jivere sopoi Krishnera nityadas, as Prabhupada has explained in the purport. Everyone is a son of God, a servant of God, spiritual being. So, and that one has to engage in devotional service. Krishnera nityadas. So we are the eternal sons of Krishna, das, servant. So we have to serve. But there's a loving relationship. It is not by force. It is by love. And there's a loving exchange between Krishna and Krishna's associates. So the preachers, the sannyasis, so they are giving this knowledge. And of course the majority, so some are brahmacharis will not enter the grihasthashram also, and they will try to remain celibate throughout their life. That is recommended if possible. But the majority, they are not able to do that. So because they are not so brahmanically inclined, there is no purva samskar, or not enough purva samskar, previous impressions, by which they can maintain the brahmachari life, being absorbed in the service of the Lord, in studying the scriptures, in giving knowledge to others. With transcendental realization, one is able to to control the mind and the senses. Artificially it is not possible. Only in purified consciousness, and one is completely engaged in spiritual activities, then it is possible to remain in brahmacharya ashram properly and advance further to the highest stage. And if qualified, then also one can give this knowledge to others. But the majority, so they will enter the grihastha ashram. So that we have seen since actually the material world has been created, so the majority of the living entities in a human form of life, so they need to enter the grihastha ashram. But so, of course, Prabhupada, as we heard yesterday, of our good brahmachari, our cook, Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu, was saying that Prabhupada said that if one is in grihastha ashram, the progress is very little or practically nil. So that is there, Prabhupada said, and it is true for maybe for the common grihasthas and who are not so fortunate. But as Narada Muni is explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Prabhupada has also mentioned, that one who is fully engaged in spiritual activities and preaching this Krishna consciousness like his first disciples, or worshipping the deities, the Brahmana grihasthas worshipping the deities, they are good as the sannyasis or the brahmacharis. And Prabhupada has explained in one place, if one is in a grihastha ashram together with a beautiful wife, and if he can control his mind and senses and always be engaged in spiritual activities, that is highly appreciated. So therefore, as good as a sannyasi, if one is able to do that, which is maybe rare, but it is possible. And Narada Muni has explained to Yudhishthira Maharaj the process by which it is possible for the grihasthas also. And he has explained that the householders, they have to be in the sadhu sangha, the association of the advanced devotees, the spiritual master, diksha guru or shiksha guru. And then it is possible to remain strong in the grihastha ashram also. And then one has to be constantly engaged, as it is explained here by Narada Muni also. One has to be engaged in spiritual activities. And Prabhupada told his disciples, many of them were householders, that you must have a strong spiritual program in the morning of attending Mangalatik, then chanting the rounds, Guru Puja, hearing the Bhagavatam every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So if one is doing this every day, so the grihasthas they may be living in the city, may not be possible to go to the temple every day, but then they should make their house like a temple and have the deities, or at least have the photos, and do Mangalatik at home with the family, and then chant the holy names, worship the spiritual master, worship the deities. And then every day hear the Bhagavatam. If one is again not living near the temple, then one should read. Or nowadays you can, of course, the internet is there, ISKCON TV or Mayapur TV, and you can get every day direct. You can hear sitting at home. You can hear the Bhagavatam class. And then the householders, they may perform their various duties. But then Prabhupada recommended in the evening also, when they're coming home after performing their duty, according to Divana, according to their occupation, then again in the evening, they should have a spiritual program. Prabhupada used to say the sandwich program. In the West, they are very fond of sandwich. They have a piece of bread, and then sometimes they have things which are not really to be eaten. But you can have bread, and then you have some salad or some vegetables, and then again a piece of bread. So morning time and evening time, there's like the bread. So substantial spiritual activity. And then in between, whatever has to be done, according to the occupation. So in the evening Artik is there, Gaura Artik. So that we should attend. If not in temple, then at home. And then one may chant some prayers, one do some more reading, Bhagavad-Gita. And those who have Brahman initiation, they will chant Yasyas Tri Sandhyam. 3 times a day they will chant the Gayatri, which is not different from the Lord, from the personality. Different Gayatris are there. Those who are initiated, they are aware. But in India, Bharatvarsha, almost everyone knows, especially Brahma Gayatri. Om Bhubhuva Svat Tat Savitur Varenyam, and so on. So that is chanted 3 times a day, having received from the spiritual master. At the Sandhya, morning time, just at the time of the sunrise, 24 minutes before or after, that is the ideal time. At night time, at evening time at sunset, and during the day, when the sun is between the sunrise and the sunset. So then even for householders, if they're working, then they may chant Achman or remember Guru Gauranga and Krishna and chant Gayatri. And if it is any free time, they should chant more. Mantra, 16 is the minimum. Because sometimes it is difficult, especially in the West, when it's working, family, but one has to be very sincere and determined. And one has to use all one's time primarily in spiritual activities. And if one has the will, where there is the will, there's a way. So, but one must have the strong determination and the association of the saintly devotees. And then even as a householder, you can be fixed. Even in the West, you can be fixed. Although in the West it is more difficult than here in Bharatvarsha. But even in Bharatvarsha, in the big cities, Mumbai, Delhi, very materialistic situation now. But still, if one is sincere in the association of the devotees, then it is possible, even as householder, to be fixed and to be able to advance in spiritual life. And then so when we see Krishna, one will have Krishna in the center in one's house, and everything is offered to Krishna. So it is a seva also, grihastha ashrama should always be in seva bhav, not the enjoyer. In the household ashram also, we are there to serve the deities, Guru, the Vaishnavas. Husband is serving the wife, wife is serving the husband, and then the children are there. And one has to take care of them. It is a kind of seva. Everything belongs to Krishna. One's wife, one's house, one's children. So it is seva. So if seva bhav is there, there's no problem. For householder also. But some difficulties are there. Brahmacharis, they have a more easy life. Unless one is in the position in the temple of authority, if one is a brahmachari temple president, then so many problems may be there. So, but if Krishna is in the center, Krishna will help. So for the householders, if Krishna is in the center, Krishna will help. So, and then we can advance, and there's practically then no difference if Krishna is in the center. And we can see in the pastimes of the Lord. So the associates of Mahaprabhu, most of them were householders. And they're fully absorbed in spiritual activities, and they became spiritual masters. Kipa vipra kiba nasi shuru kaina, yei Krishna tattva tasai guru hai. Kipa vipra, if you have a brahmana, nyasi or sannyasi, or shudra. Shudra usually they're always married. Always. They cannot be without wife. But even the Shudras, if they take shelter of the spiritual master, I mean externally, but we don't identify with the Varna or ashram, but Gopi Bhattu Parikamo Das Dasana Das. Nam Vipro Nacha Narabadin Bavaishna Shudro Nam Vani Nachakabadi Anavastatyarva Kintu Projan Nikla Paramananda Punamariptab. There Gopi Bhattu Parikamo Das Das Anudas. But we identify ourselves as the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. But we have to act according to Vana Ashram. We have to be in the Brahmacharya Ashram or Grihastha, Vanaprast, Sannyas. But we don't identify. We know we are the eternal servant of Krishna. We are engaging in Brahminical activities or managing, doing business, or just doing some simple work. But we don't identify with the Varna. But we are acting in that capacity. But always understanding with the eternal servant of Krishna. So even if one is engaged in some activity which may be externally seen as a Shudra, but if he is Krishna conscious, then, as explained by Mahaprabhu, then he can be a spiritual master. If one is Krishna conscious, if he has love for Krishna, so it is not that one must have so much. Of course, usually as a spiritual master, one should be well versed in the scriptures. One should know the Siddhanta, the conclusion of the scriptures. But the main thing is actually should be pure. He should have love for Krishna. He should be realized, not just theoretical knowledge, jnana, but vigyan, transcendental knowledge, realized knowledge. So one gets the realization by getting the knowledge from the spiritual master and then engaging in the spiritual activities recommended by the spiritual master. Even Krishna, he spoke to Lord Brahma, and the 4 verses from the Bhagavatam, Chatushloki, which is the root of the Bhagavatam. The first 4 verses. The Bhagavatam is eternal, just like Krishna, not different from Krishna. And Krishna is unlimited, so Bhagavatam is also unlimited. But first he spoke 4 verses, Chatushloki, to Lord Brahma. But before that he also told him something. 2 verses are there. Jnanam param guyam me, savigyanam samanvitam. What is it then, Maharaj? Third light. Sarahasyam tadangascha grihana gatitam me. So what I have told you, you kindly accept it. So I'm giving you this gyan, param guyam, which is most confidential, most supreme. And then I'm giving you also the vijnanam, the realization. But how will you get the realization? So rahasyam tadangascha, I'm giving you the process by which you can realize. So first he's giving knowledge and then he's telling what to do, that you can realize. So Prabhupada also, he gave the knowledge to us. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We are in his body, we are spirit soul. But then he gave them seva also to his disciples. Because without seva, you cannot realize. If you simply gain knowledge, I'm not this body, like in Bharatvarsha in India, everybody knows. Almost the majority, they will believe in God. And that we are not this body. That is a good fortune of taking birth in Bharatvarsha. But then of these, so many millions of people, only very few, they are nicely engaged in spiritual activities and they are realizing the spiritual nature. So by nature we're the servants of Krishna. So it means we have to serve in a loving way. Be fully dedicated towards Krishna. Body, mind and words. Tan, man, vacha. And engage everything in Krishna seva. By doing this constantly under the guidance of the spiritual master, then we will get the realization. And then we can step by step make more advancement. Then it is also not one day or a few days you engage in spiritual activities and immediately you become fully self-realized. It will take time. Just like children are going to school. So the child wants to become a doctor or lawyer. He will ask his father, when do I become doctor? Tomorrow? Day after? The father says, you go to school a little while, then you will become doctor. And then he goes to school, first class, second class, third class, fourth class, so much study, endeavor, passing so many examinations, pariksha. And then he's understanding himself that it is not so easy to become doctor, it will take a little while. And then he will understand. So similarly, in the beginning we hear, yes, we just chant Hare Krishna, and then we expect very soon we'll be fully realized, love of God will be there. Love of God is there in our heart. It is there. It is the intrinsic nature of the soul to love Krishna, but it is covered. It is in dormant state actually. Just like if a seed of a tree, banyan tree, in the banyan seed, the banyan tree is there, but it is not manifested. But by putting the seed in the ground, giving water, and protecting the creeper from the animals, or even the human beings, so then it will grow, and then there will be the fruit will be there also. So similarly, by the association of the spiritual master who is giving actually the proper understanding about the absolute truth and the proper process, and if we follow then his instructions, then we will be practical realization, and we can grow spiritually, slowly but surely, and ultimately we'll be able to come to the highest stage, and then the love for Krishna will be manifested. So it is a gradual process, and so in the Grihastha ashram is sometimes a little difficult, or sometimes very difficult, but no harm, we just have to try our best. And after Grihastha ashram, there is Vanaprastha ashram. When the children are grown up, and so the parents, so then get them married, and then they should give up the external activities of this material world, and no more social life, and give up all sense gratification, and focus again, and focus completely in the service of the Lord. So therefore the different ashrams are there. So after Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram must be there. And then one can be fully surrendered. Whereas in the Grihastha ashram it is sometimes difficult, because one has to deal with so many things which are not favorable. Children are there, and then maybe neighbors, and they are not devotees, and then one has to socialize. So it is difficult. So it may be difficult, but if one is trying one's best, Krishna will help, and one can pass through that situation and be Krishna conscious. And then in the Vanaprastha ashram be again fully surrendered. So to be fully Krishna conscious is not an easy thing. Even brahmacharis, for them, so they are not married. But we know the brahmacharis also. In the ashram we heard the stories, what is happening. And they have the mobile, and they're watching the mobile, the video, this video, and they need a new mobile, they need a laptop. And then they're also being carried away in various ways. And so brahmacharya is not easy, but so therefore one has to associate with those who are very strong. But even in that association it is not easy. Many had the association of Prabhupada for many years, his disciples. And when Prabhupada was there, it was easier, because Krishna prema was emanating from Prabhupada and falling on the disciples, and they were going on nicely. But then you can see after Prabhupada left, many they were strong, and because of Purva Samskar also, and because they took up this process seriously, they remained strong. But many, they became a little weak. And many even they left following the principles of chanting. So like that. So it is not easy if one doesn't have the strong association. So, of course, there are two kinds of association. One is Vapu and one is Vani. Vapu means the physical, which is important when he's present. But when the spiritual master is not present, then the Vani is prominent. Vani means the instructions which are there in the books and Prabhupada's purpose. And then one can pray to the spiritual master and follow whatever one has heard from the spiritual master. One should take that up seriously. And then one can feel the presence of the spiritual master even after he left. And especially as Prabhupada has explained in the purport at the end, the last sentence, he has mentioned there that an intelligent person should try to spread Krishna consciousness through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and all the necessities of life will automatically follow. So 2 points are there. One is one should spread the Krishna consciousness, and especially through the chanting of the holy names. But that of course implies that one has to chant oneself, one has to chant very nicely the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So one has to avoid the offenses, Nama Parad, Seva Parad, Dhamma Parad, Vaishnava Parad. And then one has to chant with some feelings, with some love, and with prayerful mood, taking shelter of Guru, Guru and Krishna. And then one has to study the scriptures, worship the deities, and what one has learned, then one should give to others. That is a Vaishnava. And the Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmana. Brahmana is studying the scriptures, is engaged in spiritual activities and is teaching. Is worshipping the deities and teaching how to worship the deities. So that should be done. So in this way, if one is strong in one's practice, especially the chanting of the holy names, one can feel the presence of Guru, Gauranga and Krishna. And then one can advance, because everything is there in the chanting of the holy names, in the heart. Guru, Gauranga and Krishna there in the heart, especially after taking initiation. So we have to look inside, be introspective, and control the mind and senses. The mind and the senses, they're going out, looking here and there, hearing this and that, but we have to control. And only see Krishna, speak about Krishna, hear about Krishna, and then try to be introspective, and try to remember Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, or Krishna's pure devotees, and their activities. So then in this way one can advance, even though one is in the Grihast ashram. So in these verses, just to summarize, so Narendra Modi is explaining that one should make a very simple program of one's activities with Krishna at the center. And then the many suggestions are there from other people. And he's explaining, friends, children, parents, they will say do this and that. And then we may hear, and as it is mentioned, and externally say, yes, yes, and we will try to do that. But we should know what to do so that we can be free from any kind of entanglement in this world. So that is very important, that one has to be strong. And for this we have to associate with those who are strong, the spiritual master, the sadhus. And then one has to tolerate the situation in the Grihastha ashram. So, but one has to use one's intelligence. As there's a Bengali saying, Prabhupada quoted, because in the household ashram you have to be practical, you have to sometimes do what the children are saying, what the wife is saying. And the saying is like this in Bengal, Prabhupada quoted, that if a man is doing what the wife is saying, he's called hand-packed, or he's hand-packed. He's under control of the wife. But the second part of the saying is that if the husband is not doing what the wife is saying, the household life, Grihastha ashram, cannot go on. So what to do? We should not listen always what the wife is saying, but many times we have to listen. Otherwise there's war at home. The wife is there with the pot. So we have to be, intelligent and humble and respectful. But then we also can say something, must say something. And but then has to be give and take. And then we hear and then we try to do, but then we should do also what has to be done. So one has to use a little intelligence, and then we should pray. If we don't have much intelligence, then we pray to Krishna, please give me some intelligence. I'm full, number one. So, and then later, so also he's explaining, so the three kinds of things are obtained by nature. Divya, Bhauman, Antariksham. So three kinds of necessities of life, which are there, and everything is supplied by the Lord actually. And so we don't have to worry. And then Prabhupada is explaining and quoting also from Bhagavad-Gita. So then if we do, quoting Bhagavad-Gita, Anad Bhavanti Bhutani, all living beings subsist on food grains which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yagya, and yagya is born of prescribed duties. So, yeah, so we have some nice rain, so must be everyone is nicely doing their duties. So that is a kind of yagya. There are difficulties in whatever one is doing, especially for householders, they have to work, and even in the brahmachari ashram, sometimes the brahmachari in charge is telling the brahmachari, you do this, maybe he doesn't like to do, but he has to do. Washing the pots, clean the temple. So, but if one is doing that nicely, so that is a yagya. So yagya is not just a fire sacrifice. All the original word of yagya, that means actually fire sacrifice. So sacrifice, one doing, lighting the fire and offering ghee and grains. But then performing one's duty, that is also yagya. And what is the highest duty, the most important duty? Sankirtan yagya. That is in the age of Kali. So, Krishna vanam tisa Krishnam sangha pangasta pastaram yagya sankirtan yagya. Yajanti sumedasa, those who are intelligent. Sumedasaha. Meda means intelligent. Su, very, those who are very intelligent, they will worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates by doing Sankirtan Yagya, by chanting the holy names, which is the greatest Yagya. Nama Yagya, Mahayagya, Kali Kalmashanashanam, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Prityartam, Nama Yagya Samarpanam. So it is Nam Yagya, and that is also kind of Yagya, I think every one of you can say, unless when you're on the platform of Nam Ruchi, chanting with taste, then there's so much pleasure there, ruchi, because Krishna Nam is not different from Krishna, so sweet. So if one has ruchi, Nam ruchi, then chanting the holy names is very pleasurable and not so difficult. Sometimes Krishna is appearing and then the devotee will cry, but there is also some kind of pleasure in there. But if one doesn't have Nam Ruchi, it is sometimes a little difficult. If one is Nam Ruchi, very quickly he chants 16 rounds. And then I have to put my bead back down, I have to do some seva. If one doesn't have Nam Ruchi, he's chanting, looking at the watch, half an hour, okay, 6 rounds, 10 rounds more, and then 16 rounds. Okay, I'm done. Very good. Whew. That was quite some yagya, controlling the mind and the senses. Giving so much information which has nothing to do with Krishna. Because Krishna now not different. We should remember Krishna's pastimes. So it is the greatest yagya. If one is able to chant and hear nicely, remember Krishna. And then Kali Kaloshanashan, all the kalmash, the dirt in the heart becomes finished. So then how to chant? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Priti Artam, we should do for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu. In this way we should offer the Nam Yagya, Samarpanam. So by doing this, then everything will be supplied. We don't have to worry for everything. We need some cloth, brahmacharis will get. Supply is there, right? You can get, and even Grihastas, if you are Brahmana, if you are Vaishnava Brahmana, you do some ceremony, you get some cloth. And something to eat, you get also every day. Especially in Braj. Krishna promised, Radharani also, nobody will starve in my village. Always so much Mahaprasad. So much Mahaprasad we get. When you think he's at Pujari, he can easily say. But I'm hardly taking any Mahaprasad because I eat very light. But I have enough prasad. People are coming, I'm doing some ceremony, take some sweet. I'm saying, no, I'm not eating too many sweets. So much prasad we get, no problem. If you just chant Hare Krishna, you don't have to look for anything. People will bring you, like Haridas Thakur and others also. They were simply chanting. People will bring what you need. You don't have to have any worry. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Of course, this is just external. We need something to eat. We need a place to sleep. We need some cloth. But actually what we need is the prayojan, the necessity, is Krishna Prem. So, and even that, so the prayojan, the necessity, that is given by the Acharya, the spiritual master, the sadhus. And then Krishna within the heart, Chaitya Guru. He's giving the knowledge by which we can come to him if we are sincere. And this is actually what we have to beg for. We should not beg for prasad. Let me get some nice Mahaprasad. I need some fancy dhoti. I need some new mobile. But we should beg for Krishna Prem every day. And the process by which we can attain this transcendental knowledge. So we should beg for that. And if we are sincere, then Guru Vaishnava, Hari Guru Vaishnava, they will give. And then we can quickly advance to the highest stage. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any questions? Okay, yes.
In ISKCON we say brahmachari vihasta. I was just thinking that in ISKCON we say brahmachari vihasta vanaprastha.
Yes.
But we very, very rarely, and only theoretically, we talk about Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya.
Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Yes.
We don't have a Brahminical department, we don't have a Kshatriya department, we don't have a Vaishya department, we don't have a Shudra department. We're not managing according to that. Why
Yes.
is that? If you have half the chicken, that's not good.
Yes.
The part that gives the eggs.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, good question. And so, if you actually see our society, it is true that more emphasis is given on the 4 ashrams than the varnas. But we cannot say it is not there. It is there. It is there everywhere, the 4 varnas. You have some devotees, they are simply doing some simple work, and there may be grihastas or there may be brahmacharis. But we don't address them as Shudras. But they are acting just like that actually. But we see them as Vaishnav, and because nobody wants to hear, oh, I am Shudra. No. So we don't address, but it is there. Some people are very simple. They are not doing business, they are not administrators, and they are not teachers. So they are actually just like Shudras. But if Krishna is in the center, and then they become Vaishnavas, and then they may have some Brahminical qualities also. But they are there. It is there. And then we have devotees, many devotees who are doing business in India and the West. And then in the temple, we have the president, and we have the managers. They are actually kind of Kshatriya, although they don't have maybe the strength as the Kshatriyas nowadays. And we have not many who are trained. Like, for example, maybe somebody should do some martial arts and be knowledgeable also with some weapons, just in case of emergency. That is maybe not so much developed, which should be developed also more to some extent. But the managers are there and we have enough. And they are showing, I am the king, I am the boss, many times. But the real manager should be humble also, like the Raja Rishi. the saintly kings, they were very humble. Like,
But they don't listen to the Brahminical.
they don't listen to the Brahmanas, maybe there, yeah. Because the ego is there. I'm the president, who are you to tell me something? They may be there, yes. And the Brahmanas are there. For example, the teachers in the VIH is there, so they are teaching there, and some devotees, they are giving seminars, and the devotees were giving class, so they have some Brahminical tendencies, so they are giving class. So like that, so the Brahmanas are there, but it is maybe not so much recognized, and there's also Shastra committees there in the GBC, who are supposed to study the Shastras and give some advice if there's some confusion in some points. But it is true, it is not so much like it should be in every community. There should be some Brahmanas there who are simply engaged in Brahminical activities, and then they may be consulted to give advice. But to some extent it is here, but not so elaborate maybe, yes.
We should designate people.
We should designate you as a Brahmana. Yes, yes. Okay, yeah, okay.
Couldn't we structure the management with these principles?
If we could, yeah, at one point here, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, there was a management committee and there was a Brahminical council also. I was there also for a little while, but somehow it didn't last long.
Because there were no Brahmins.
Yeah, maybe not many. Well, there were also some, but somehow there was some, there were Brahminical also, this, in the council, but then somehow there was some difference of opinions and some issues were there, and then somehow it was dismantled. Yes, what to do. But it is a good idea, and we can suggest to the management that we may introduce again something like this. Yeah. And we will suggest your name as one of the Brahmanas, of course.
Well, I'm just thinking.
And then, for example, you know, I mean,
Management structure
yes,
organized along the idea of management.
yes,
A Brahminical department, a Kshatriya department,
yes.
a Vaishya department, and a manpower.
Yeah, I mean, you know, already as I explained, it is already there to some extent. It's maybe,
My point is it should be recognized,
yeah, okay.
not recognized.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is there, but it is not fully recognized. Yeah, yes, okay, we can suggest. Okay, there's some more questions. Thank you. Yes.
You were speaking about just like you are getting some service, somebody getting service. Somebody is giving you some service, like that service you have to do it. Sometimes you said about the prescribed duties. So prescribed duties is given to me, but I do half I do and half I give just listen. Just to show that I have come and don't give you my service and doesn't complete the service. And what is that about?
Yeah, so if one is getting some service, one is not doing full-hearted. Yeah. Yes. Well, half done, you get, half done is not complete, so you get only little benefit. Very simple, but the thing is that, yeah, we should try to, whatever service is doing, we should try to complete and do it as with the proper consciousness. Although in the beginning, in conditioned state, maybe one may not like it, and sometimes so, but there's a necessity, then we have to do it. But you know, so many things we are doing every day, which is not very pleasurable. We have to go to the bathroom many times a day, and at least once the big toilet. You know, but we have to do. It's just necessity, but we just do it, and then we do what is more necessary, and we try to always remember Krishna. So we have to dovetail. Even sometimes you may have to do something which is not so pleasurable, but we still doing, and at the same time we try as much as possible to remember Krishna. Or chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it is 9:20. So if anyone has more questions, they can come after the class and ask me. But others, they have to leave, And so we want to give everyone some prasad also.